Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on PISA 2025, the Programme for International Student Assessment. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore what PISA is, why it matters, and why it's such an exciting opportunity for learners here in Scotland. If you're a learner, parent, or carer, you'll leave with a clear understanding of what to expect, how it works, and why being part of PISA is something to feel proud of. I'm Martin, formerly head of a secondary science faculty, and later I'll be joined by my colleagues Helen and Paul, who are both faculty heads of science. Firstly, though, let's watch a short video clip filmed at a Scottish secondary school, which will set the scene.
What is PISA?
The leaning tower of pizza or like pizza?
I'm
Not sure.
A tower network?
Something to do with education.
It turns out PISA actually stands for the Programme for International Student Assessment, PISA for short.
PISA measures 15-year-olds' ability to use their reading, science and math skills in real life.
It helps us to compare Scottish education to other education systems around the world.
So how does it do this? PISA is taken by roughly 700,000 learners in about 80 different countries.
About 3,500 pupils will represent Scotland this year. The findings will help us compare Scottish education to education systems around the world.
PISA is conducted online via computer. And this year the main focus is on science, but there'll be maths and reading questions too.
True or false?
True or false?
True or false?
Your parents nominate who should take the survey. I hope not.
True but true.
False.
True or false?
Your head teacher has to do the PISA survey too.
Yeah, because it'd be fair.
So, other than getting to see your head teacher back in the hot seat, you might be thinking, why should I care?
And that's the interesting part. This is our chance to show the world what we are made of.
It's a golden opportunity to improve the future of education in Scotland and around the world. It's good to challenge yourself, so do your best!
Can we hurry this up already? It's almost home time.
Perfect, thank you guys.
So, Helen, what is PISA?
Hi there. Yeah, so PISA is a worldwide study where 15-year-olds show how well they can use their skills in science, reading and maths to solve challenges linked to real life. It's not about recalling facts or memorizing textbooks. Instead, it's about applying what you already know, but in different situations. So in 2025, the main focus will be on science. And this means that many of the questions will ask you to think like a scientist. So things like observing, reasoning, predicting, and applying knowledge to everyday problems. And here's the best part. PISA is not an exam. So there are no grades, no pass or fail, and no individual scores are going to be shared. So really it's a chance to practice, to explore, and to represent Scotland and shine on the world stage.
Thanks, Helen. So over to you, Paul. How does it actually work?
Well, taking part in PISA is very straightforward. It's an online interactive assessment. You'll spend about 2 hours completing questions, and that is followed by a 40-minute student survey. The test part focuses on science, reading and math skills, but the survey itself is just as important.
Oh, so Helen, what's the survey all about?
Well, the survey asks you questions about a few different things. So firstly, your learning experiences, like how you study, what helps you learn, and what challenges you may face. It also asks about your school life, so that includes relationships with teachers, classmates, and how you feel about your school environment. It asks about well-being, so how confident you feel, how motivated you are, and your overall experiences as a learner. And it also asks about everyday issues. So that's things like how you use technology or how you balance schoolwork and free time. So I guess why does this really matter? So the survey gives policymakers and schools a much deeper understanding of what life is really like for learners in Scotland. And it's not just about the scores, it's about actually listening to your voice. Your answers help highlight what works well in schools and where improvements can be made to support learners better. So when you do fill in the survey, remember, you're shaping the future of education, not just for yourself, but for the next generation too.
This sounds very good. So who actually gets to take part, Paul?
In Scotland, about 3,500 learners from 119 secondary schools will take part in PISA 2025. If you're selected, you'll be one of a small group representing not just your school, but the whole of Scotland. You'll be joined by learners from more than 90 countries across the world, from Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas, and beyond. Think about that. Tens of thousands of young people, all sitting the same test, sharing their experiences, and all helping to shape education together.
So when is it actually happening, Helen?
The PISA assessment will run in Scotland between the 1st of September and the 10th of October 2025. Your teachers will let you know when the assessment will take place in your school. So if you're chosen, that's your window to shine.
So Paul, why does PISA matter so much?
Well, let's talk a wee bit about why this all matters, not just for you, but for schools and for Scotland as a whole, and actually beyond as well. Firstly, for learners such as yourselves, well, it's a chance for you to try out your skills in a low pressure, no stakes environment. You get to represent Scotland in international study, and that's something to be really proud of. And through the survey part, your voice contributes to shaping education and improving school life for future generations in our country and beyond. For the schools itself, well, PISA gives schools valuable insights into how their pupils are doing compared with others across Scotland and across the world. It gives teachers a better understanding of how pupils feel about learning in their schools and their classrooms and how they can be supported better. And finally, schools themselves get to contribute to improving education nationally and globally. It's also useful for what we call policymakers. So PISA, for example, provides powerful international data that shows how Scotland compares with other countries and how we're doing over time. It reveals what really helps young people to succeed, not just academically, but emotionally and socially too. The evidence from PISA feeds into policy decisions, things like curriculum improvement, guidance on behaviour, relationships in schools, and even advice on technology use. And finally, the data supports research, so it helps academics and experts to really push education forward. So when you sit the PISA, you're not just answering questions, you're sharing your story, and that's all that really matters.
And Helen, this isn't an SQA exam, so what do the questions look like?
Yeah, let's take a closer look at these because they are different to what you might have seen before. And we need to remember that they're designed to reflect real life, so it's not just schoolwork. So, for example, you might read a short article about climate change and then answer questions about the evidence and solutions it describes. You could also be shown a chart of data about how much energy households use and asked to interpret really what that means. In science, you might adjust the settings of a simple simulation, like changing the light or water for a plant, and then predict what will happen. And in maths, you might be asked to plan the quickest route across a city map, balancing distance and time. The survey questions are different. They're about your views, and there's no right or wrong answer. So you might be asked things like how confident you feel in science or maths, whether you enjoy reading in your free time, or how safe and supported you feel at school. These responses help paint a full picture of education in Scotland.
So it is a bit different. So Paul, what resources are there to help learners and schools prepare?
Well, as you can see, Education Scotland and BBC Bitesize have both produced web pages with lots of advice and resources to help you. The Education Scotland page links directly to example questions, which you can use to practice with if you wish.
Okay, so Helen, are there any tips you would give to some of the learners taking part?
Yeah, here are some top tips for you. First of all, just do your best. That's all anyone can ask of you, and that's really important. You can take your time and read the questions carefully. The questions often give you all the clues and the information that you need. It's really important that you're honest in the survey because your views are important and there are no right or wrong answers. And really importantly, just stay positive because this isn't about a pass or a fail. And most importantly, be proud because you're showing the world what Scotland's young people can do.
Okay, so Paul, is there anything that parents or carers any advice you could give for people at home?
Yeah, absolutely. So for parents and carers, really your encouragement and support is key. Here's how you can help. So remind your child that being chosen is already a big achievement. Encourage them to stay positive and give it their best shot. Also remind them that the survey is just as important as the test. The survey is a chance for their voice to really be heard. And of course, celebrate their efforts afterwards. Taking part is something to be really proud of.
So let's bring it all together. Really, PISA 2025 seems to be not just an assessment, it's actually an opportunity for young people to practice their skills in a new and exciting way, an opportunity to represent Scotland in a worldwide study, an opportunity to have their voices heard through the survey, and an opportunity to shape the future of education for generations to come. If you are chosen, this is your chance to shine. Step up, be proud, be confident, do your best, and thank you for being part of PISA 2025 in Scotland.